up on balls within balls. All right, this would, now this is not talking about rotations yet, because right now our Vecca system is over in the parallel side because of the natural rotations of the Eka-Vecca systems. But let's just say we're at our start position, and this is our PCM Vecca. Remember, there was a set that went out this way that was a pKa grid, and the light field that actually goes with this one but phases with that one. And this is the pKa light field that phases with our PCM Vecca. This diagram shows the universal Cathara grid, shows the 4 density levels, density 1, 2, 3, and 4. This would be the center point where the light field and the density field connect at the center point of the Eka at the Cathara center 12 and 13. So you'd have your Eka core in there. Now, what this also shows is a lot of things. It shows, first of all, what are called the radial bodies. Remember, for those of you who have done the activations of flame body activation, boy, they were little flame bodies. You should see what's coming. Flame body activation talked about activating the radial body fields. The radial body fields for each density level are these spheres here. And there's names to all these. We have havas and huvas and nadas and all sorts of things. I'm not even going to attempt to remember all the names of those. I have to be focused into that detail, and that's not where I want to waste our energy of attention tonight, because I will just explain that these are the radials. All right, you have density 1 radial body here, density 2 radial body here, density 3 radial body here, I think. Am I doing that right? Yeah. 1. Yeah, 2 is here. 2 is there. 3 is here. And 4 goes up here and crosses into the light field. And then 5 would be here. So they're the 5 density radial bodies. Now we've taught in the beginning, when we learned about the structure, the beginning structure of the multidimensional anatomy, we learned about the Huva bodies. And what I didn't know until these diagrams came through is we've always seen the Huva bodies in relation to these diagrams. Can you pull that down a little bit, honey? I think they're up here. We've seen the Huva bodies displayed like this, right? Where a Huva body is a three-dimensional light sound body. 1, 2, 3 has density 1, density 2, density 3, density 4, density 5 Huvas. The Huva bodies are actually very complex structures. Up, please. Thank you. They're complex structures because they actually exist where you have the radial body here. The Huva bodies, when they merge, become centered in the radial body, and that radial body becomes one of the density flame bodies. But when the flame body is not turned on and the Huva bodies are polarized, they're actually below they're in the bottom half of the density capsule. So you have your Huva bodies here, and you actually have the etheric equivalent of it up here. So your atomic body would be here, and its etheric would be here for density 1. You'd also have here the density 2 atomic body, and up here the density 2 etheric body. So see, the etheric bodies and the atomic bodies are actually rotating through in the same space, and that's what forms a Huva body. When we activate basic flame body, when we go just from density 1 to density 2, this is what that original bridge zone was talking about. Boy, have we even gone way past these activations already. But what was going to happen was we would be merging the density 1 Nada Huva body with the density 2 Alpha Huva body, and that would bring the density 1 into merger with its etheric blueprint, that is with the density 2 atomic body, and they'd merge and they'd pull in to here. And they would be centered in the radial body, and that's when the radial body would turn into a flame body. And then the next level would be accrete the next level up. That's the slow way of evolution, and that works if you're not falling in a black hole. But if you're falling in a black hole, it takes too long. So we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be doing a much faster version that accomplishes the same thing very quickly, probably in less than 3 days, because there's other stuff that has to be accomplished too, and that stuff has to go first. So I just wanted you to see the basic structure. If you remember again, that's that cross-shaped thing. That is the 4 Vecca quadrants within an Akasha, and that is the local map of not just our universal system, but of the 2 15-dimensional time matrices that are called our Eka-Vecca system. And at the core is the Eka of that Vecca system, and they're all within the Akasha system, which is called the God Seed. All right, and that's our local cosmos. So these, if we remember these early diagrams that showed the 15-dimensional matrix and showed how the Cathara grids fit in them, they actually run this way through the bodies. This is a rough diagram. We have not had time to clean any of these up, or even to typeset most of them. These typesetting is a luxury at this point. Having diagrams you can read is a luxury at this point. So I just wanted to see how all of these things fit together. So all the little things we learned in the beginning of these teachings has brought us up to where we can understand literally the local cosmic structure, how all those diagrams fit into these diagrams, and how that all fits in to the structure of your own light body. And when we're activating DNA, when we are going through tachyon cycle, which is very rapidly activating DNA because you're activating all the keys, all of that has to do with bringing all these spheres all up together where they can inhale and go back in and come back out in a rebirth cycle, which is a starfire cycle. Got that thing up there so you can see it easy. Anyway, turn this one this way, would you please? Yeah, up, yeah, that'll do. Right, and then down a little bit. Okay. Now, when these diagrams came through, they came through horizontally. It's like, okay. They're called transfiguration waves, right? These are time waves. They're actually the larger wave structures or spark pulse current release patterns that bring the frequencies from the light body into manifestation and into forming what we have here as the electromagnetic spectrum. All right? And they're called transfiguration waves or time waves, and they are the waves that actually move up and down through the different states of matter and create the states of matter and the wave forms and particle forms that each of the density levels and the domain levels are made of. And I just wanted to show you this and mention that time waves, because what we are doing in all of this is we are entering an extremely fast time wave to enter starfire cycle. And there's something called a base pulse rhythm, which is the base pulse that particular time wave or transfiguration wave would have. We have to reach certain levels of base pulse rhythm and be able to get the rainbow bridge, and especially to be able to get the crystal spiral alignment, because if you don't reach them, you will be dragged into the threshold base pulse rhythm. That's why we introduced Kathara 2-3 without the words. We got pictures all over the place, but not even any time for words. But what it's meant to do is help you understand a little bit about base pulse rhythm so you can begin to get yours up, so you don't have to worry about getting dragged down into black hole fall, which is a different base pulse rhythm that's actually slow and running in reverse. Anyway, if we remember the EFF-I'm-AR'hal system, I don't have it here because I pulled the wrong diagram